So angle relationships are one of those things that we just have to be really good nailing down this vocabulary, because it's going to keep coming up, and it really, geometry just builds vocabulary on vocabulary. So the more precise we can be at the beginning, the easier our life's going to be. So let's take a look at a couple common angle relationship ones. Here's the first one: vertical angles. Really common to think. So angle 1 and angle 2, those are vertical angles. That has nothing to do with the fact they are stacked one on top of the other, like that kind of vertical. What that means is wherever two lines cross, right, and no matter how they cross, there will be a pair on either side. Now those two are vertical angles, right? So they're opposites of each other. So 1 and 2 in this case are vertical angles. Now the other two that aren't listed, you can imagine them as 3, 4. Those are also vertical angles. Let's talk about another one here. Let's talk about adjacent angles. Now adjacent, the word adjacent means that it's right next to. So adjacent angles share a common side and a common vertex. So 1 and 2 are in common like that. Now it could be a more obtuse angle. It could even be up to 180 degrees, right? But they have to share a common vertex. And that makes, if they're sharing a common vertex, that means that they're going to be sharing that common side, that ray that comes right out of the middle. So that's what adjacent angles are. This is a linear pair. Now a linear pair, they are adjacent angles, and they have the non-common sides that form a straight line. So that definition is from your book, and it perfectly describes it, but it may be a little bit confusing the way they describe it. So they're basically saying they're two angles that are right next to each other. You can see that 1 and 2 share that ray that kind of shoots off at an angle. I guess it goes like this, huh? The problem is the other two, the shared sides, this one and this one, they just so happen to form a line, right? So a linear pair is a very special kind of adjacent angle, right? Here we've got a pair of complementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. So their sum is 90 degrees. They don't have to be touching. You know, a lot of times you'll see complementary angles as you'll see a right angle and then a ray that comes out of it. Those are complementary angles. Their sum does add up to 90. But complementary angles can be completely apart from each other. They don't have to be adjacent angles. Same thing with supplementary. Supplementary angles are angles that add up to 180 degrees. Same thing. They don't have to be linear pairs. Linear pairs, of course, are, if I was to put these two angles together, they would form a straight line, right? Because 60 and 120 make a straight angle of 180 degrees, right? They don't have to be a linear pair to be supplementary angles. All right.